Hi, my name is David Braun, and I'm a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. What I want to talk to you about today is getting people home from the jail, getting them out of the jail and getting them back to their houses where they're safe, where they're not spreading viruses and diseases, and we're able to overcome this global pandemic that is reaching our personal communities as we speak. One thing that I can tell you is that the courts are doing the best they can. It's a very difficult situation, and administrative judges and chief judges are working hand in hand to try to make this process go smoothly. But we as criminal defense attorneys need to do our part. We need to provide the courts with the information and put that information into motions and file those motions, and also get in touch with the prosecutors. Now, there are administrative orders that are currently in place, and those administrative orders, for example, in Broward County, specifically tell you and prescribe what it is that you need to do to get onto a special docket, a special bond docket. Now, if your case can be heard in its regular division, then that's great. But if you want to file an emergency motion to get your client or your loved one out of custody and home, then the courts have created this special docket that you can get on. Now, there are some requirements in order to get on that special docket. Namely, you've got to have, number one, not addressed the bond issue with your division judge. If you've already addressed the issue and that judge has ruled on your motion for bond or pretrial release, you are not going to be able to get a hearing in the special division, on the special docket. But if you have not, then you do have that opportunity. But what they're going to do is they're going to require us to provide a lot of information. We are not going to be able to file boilerplate motions. The motions are going to have to be filed with detail. And the first step I'm employing is having a very detailed interview with the client over the phone and the client's family, if possible, to try to get as much information about them and their family and why the court should allow them to come home. Now, let me just digress for a moment and tell you that violent felony offenders, okay, those are folks that have committed or allegedly committed violent felony offenses here in Florida. Those folks are not going to be able to get on this docket either, okay? But if your loved one or your client has been charged with possession of marijuana, possession of cocaine, or some theft crime or something like that, where no one was physically hurt and there was no violence perpetrated, no weapons used, then you've got a good chance of getting on this docket and getting some traction as far as getting out of custody and getting home. So let me tell you some of the things that we need to do. Obviously, we need to do the interview, and we need to put a lot of detail into that. And then we need to list some of the information, like the charges, the cases. All of that information needs to be complete, and there has to be a motion filed for each and every single one of the cases. Now, the next thing we want to do is, and this is an important part of the case, because every single motion that is filed before this special court and this special docket must have a certification that we have reached out to a prosecutor, the prosecutor signed the case, and attempted to resolve this case through that prosecutor. It makes a lot of sense to do this because you're going to do two things. Number one, you're going to inform the prosecutor of your reasons for getting the person out of custody. You're going to put your motion together as if you were going to court, all right? You have to do that because you want the prosecutor to see the motion in its completed form. You want the prosecutor to see that this is for real, and that if they don't agree to some form of bond or pretrial release, that they're going to go have to answer to the judge at the special docket as to why they did not do that. Now, the second thing, as I mentioned, is each motion has to have a certification that that we have in fact reached out to a prosecutor. So let's say the prosecutor does not agree to a bond or pretrial release, and you're not able to work that out with the prosecutor and just submit an order and get the person out of jail. Well, now you're going to be able to certify in your motion that you have made those good faith attempts. Now you go right directly to the judge. You explain to the judge what it is that your position is. You explain to them, for example, in my cases so far, we have all the information as to why they should receive a bond and why they should be put on pretrial legally. But through the course of interviewing and gathering evidence, we're able to attach exhibits and other documents that show that some of our patients, or some of our clients are actually patients, that they actually have medical issues, and that those medical issues are pre-existing conditions that could be severely complicated or severely compromised by the COVID-19 virus. So once that's done and you can submit that information to the judge, then we have to get on the docket. And that's a bit of a process. It's going to take a day or two to get that done. But that's why it's so important to work on this quickly and to get immediately on the ball as far as getting your interviews done, getting the documents collected, getting the motions filed. Because once you do get your chance to get in front of that special docket, in front of the administrative judge, and make your case for why a person should get a bond or should get pretrial release, you want everything to move very rapidly. You want the person to be able to get out, get home, and have this over with so you can have peace of mind to know that you're not going to be sitting in that jail. Now, there's, of course, each case is going to be different. And, you know, none of us, no attorney should ever make a promise or guarantee about what happens in a case or what's going to happen in a case as far as results or anything like that. Okay, each case is unique, all right? And no attorney is 100% responsible for how a case is going to, how it's going to come out. There's judges, there's prosecutors, there's clerks. Everything has to be working together for it to come out right. But if we follow the prescriptions that the administrative judges have put in place, and we do the work, the hard work of really writing up these motions and putting the detail in them, then I'm confident that we're going to be able to get folks out, get them out of that highly densely populated place like a jail, get them out where they can have medical treatment if they so need it, in the event that they do get the COVID-19. And that's really the most important thing, because we're protecting the health of the client, we're protecting the health of the family of the client, and even bigger, we're protecting the health of our entire community. So this is very important, and I hope everyone works towards getting their family members out and their clients out as soon as possible. If you have any questions, you're welcome to give me a call. If you'd like to call me at 954-432-2900, I'll put the phone number down below as well. You can also email me at D as in David, Braun, B-R-A-U-N, at braunlawgroup.net. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope we can work together to get everyone home safe and away from this pandemic virus. Thank you.